Right, Jill?
I barely hear you, but I actually just ran into another man. What is your name?
Chris.
Chris, that is about to go out in the water with
boy.
a surfboard. Chris, we just saw Jason go out there, 10-foot waves. We saw him jump off the pier. You must be scared to go out in this water.
You gotta use some caution, definitely.
Are you that experienced that you think that even you can sustain waves and wind like this?
I gotta use caution, but I feel comfortable enough.
Now, are you a resident here? Because Jason is not, and they would not let him across the bridge. You do live here?
I live here, yes.
And have police warned you? Have you seen police walking down the beach? I saw you walking this way, not to go in?
No, I'm just picking the right spot.
How long have you been doing this for? I mean, it's just very alarming to everybody watching that are under shelters and in shelters.
I've surfed about 10 years.
And you've surfed in waters like this?
Not as tumultuous as this, but waves this large and bigger.
The police are trying to get him out, possibly saying that, he said it's his constitutional right to surf, quote unquote.
If they ask me to leave, I'll leave.
If you're not that diehard that you wouldn't.
No, if they ask me to leave, I'll leave.
Okay.
I want to put them in danger either, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Jill,
obviously, I want to just go back, Leon, if we can find him out there, because we have Broward City officials lined up on the beach. I don't know if you can see from Leon's vantage point, but I spoke with them a little bit. They really didn't want to talk about it, but I asked if they would possibly arrest him, and they said yes. When I asked what they would possibly charge him with, they didn't answer me. So they're going to question him. Leon, because of the tumultuous weather out here, we keep losing him. I don't know, can you see him right now?
Jill, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, Jill, let me state Florida law, okay? The law in the state says that you can be arrested if you place in imminent peril a human, even if it is yourself. So he has no legal right under Florida law to actually be out there. Of course, and it's as Brian kept saying, if he goes out there and he goes under, then someone has to risk his or her life in order to rescue that person. So under Florida law, you can be arrested.
Yeah, and that's a judgment call, because obviously these guys are going to say, well, I don't think that I'm putting myself in imminent danger because I'm an experienced surfer, but the police are going to say, look, we'll decide that later. Right now, the law says this, you guys got to leave. At least this guy was reasonable. He was reasonable. He said, if they tell me I shouldn't be here, I'm going to leave, and that's what he did. And I think we can only commend him for that.
Exactly.
But this other guy who's out there somewhere, Jill, is he still out there in the water?
He is still out there in the water. Some of the officials just left. I asked if we could speak with them. They said they weren't allowed. He is still out in the water. And as you heard, as he told us earlier and as he told us just before when we were on live, he said he's staying there. And I have to tell you, you see the shoreline here. When we came out this morning, it was probably, I would say, 100 yards back. Now you could see, it's almost by where our camera is. So it's really, really getting windy and rainy and scary out here. And the officials just left. I don't know if they're going to get more patrol, but that's interesting with the law. I don't think a lot of people know that, because a lot of people keep coming out here. But again, this guy was reasonable. He said, if they ask me to leave, I'll leave.
Well, it is the law, so if Jason comes ashore, you might want to tell him that we had a little information for him. Thanks so much, Jill. You take care. And just one final note, 3 people are still missing off the coast of Bimini. I think this has been 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, the Coast Guard has been looking for these people. They had some trouble, and they reported it at about 9 o'clock Thursday night. But they were 12 miles west of Bimini, and they still have yet to be found. That vessel has yet to be found. So,
right, the name of the boat, by the way, is the Team Stressless, and 3 people aboard that vessel. It has been missing now since yesterday as a result of the adverse weather conditions resulting from Hurricane Francis. The Coast Guard is not conducting an active search, but continues to issue marine information broadcasts. We had heard from the Coast Guard earlier that they don't have the manpower to go out there in some of these dangerous conditions. They try to do this as much as possible on the radio. Jill, are the police still out there trying to talk to this guy?
The 2 police officers that I saw just left. I think they are going to get more men out here to try to get him, but obviously he is so far out that we keep losing track of him. I just said to Leon, I see him, but it is so windy out here that sometimes the sand blows and you lose him, but they would not talk to us on camera to let us know what's going to happen next. But he is still out there, and we think very far out, because it is very difficult for us to find him.
Jill, it's Brian. The band is just right on you. real-time Doppler 4, if you folks in the control room punch it up, you can show the one of the edges of the bands just on the beach, and that's why the wind is picked up, the sand is blowing, and the surf is kicking up, just coming into Pompano Beach right now and affecting Deerfield Beach, and you can see things. I can hear the wind picking up in your microphone.
Yes, and if you look at some of the garbage cans around here even, I mean, you could see they were so far out when we got here today. The water is right up on them and even tilted a little bit. Some of the trees and everything are really coming down, branches flying. This is really the first gust of wind and first really zest of passionate weather we've gotten since we've been here.
Yeah, it's finally edging toward Broward. I'm going to show you the full radar here. We'll do a complete update here in just a moment. But Maggie and Rob are here with us now. Welcome.
Hi, Brian. Thank you.
We're certainly back. Thank you, Brian.
We want to take you right